Has taken it. शॉट और कैच आउट हो गए.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an extremely special episode of Cricket Mehfil. We're back with you live. I'm your host, Behram Qazi, and with me I have cricket broadcaster Hijab Zahid and Grassroots Cricket's very own Nawab Hassan Hussain Qureshi. And we'll be reviewing the semi-finals and previewing the finals. So Pakistan comfortably ousted the Kiwi challenge in the first semi-final in Sydney and won by how many overs was it, guys? कितने से जीते थे?
I think we completed the target in like 18.2 overs.
Yes, 18.2 it was. And then England absolutely annihilated India in Adelaide. No one thought that they would hand them that sort of a humbling. But what that means is that both England and Pakistan have booked their ticket to Melbourne and they'll meet in the final on November 13th on Sunday. A repeat of the 1992 semi-final. It's going all according to script. And that's exactly what this panel was hoping for if you tuned in last time. So I'll give it right to them. Hijab, Hassan bhai, how are you guys feeling and what are the emotions like?
सबसे पहले तो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Walaikum salam.
आपको and everybody who's listening. Big smile on my face for obvious reasons. Pakistan absolutely bamboozled that semi-final. A very dominating performance. Batting, bowling, fielding, body language, mindset, game awareness, everything was just a perfect 10, in my opinion. Wasn't expecting it. हाथों में तस्बीह पकड़ी हुई थी the whole time. Wasn't expecting कि ऐसी performance आएगी, but very happy about it. Pakistan was yet to play their best game. They were yet to arrive in the World Cup in a very Pakistani way, in a dominating way, and we all saw that in semi-final, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll see that in the final as well. So Sunday is going to be a blockbuster. It's the repeat of the '92 World Cup, IMCG, Pakistan versus England. Considering it's not the same England, but it's not the same Pakistan either. It's not the same format either. But we're hoping that history will repeat itself because up until now, the roadmap to whole roadmap, the '92 roadmap, has been so perfect. So it doesn't make sense that it won't end the way that it did in the '92. So we're all just hoping that's what it will be. And obviously today's game, I think we're going to review that in detail as well. That was an absolute lip cracker for England and agony for India today. Wasn't expecting them to lose like that, although I was rooting for England. But yeah, I mean, these were the finalists promised last year. Everybody was rooting for Pakistan and England last year in the World T20s, and they weren't able to make it to the final. But this time we're there. We're there, baby.
We're absolutely there. And Hassan bhai, just before I pass it on over to you, I want to recount all of the similarities that there are between 1992 and 2022. So in 1987, Australia won the Cricket World Cup in Asia, and then they were defending it at home in 92. Same story in 2022. Australia lost the tournament opener to New Zealand, and then New Zealand topped their group. South Africa were hurt by rain. India defeated Pakistan in the group stages. And what else? Pakistan won 3 on the bounce to qualify for the semis. Pakistan got New Zealand in the semis. Pakistan defeated New Zealand in the semis, chasing, and then played England in the final. Hassan bhai, if I've missed anything, please point that out. But it's eerily similar. I keep saying it like it's getting creepy at this point. थोड़ा अजीब सा लगने लग गया कि इतना कैसे similar हो सकता है?
It is amazing how history is repeating itself, Behram. You keep thinking, all right, this will change, that will change. Just a reminder that in 1992 also, the series that Pakistan played after winning the World Cup was against England. So the next series Pakistan is playing is against England. It's just incredible how it's all panning out, right? Like I wish I looked as young as I did in 1992, but I don't. That's the only change really that there is to it. But it's just been incredible to see how Pakistan have just lifted themselves up, like we spoke about in the last show, like, you know, from the ruins. And I think there was a lot of excitement, but there was also this fear before the semifinals. New Zealand have been an incredible team this entire tournament. They're a very solid unit. And then to put in that bowling performance, okay, if we all remember the first game, Finn Allen drove Mitchell Starc down the ground and made that statement, but you just don't do that to Shaheen Shah Afridi. And then when he got the reprieve from the LBW, you're thinking to yourself, okay, is it unlucky today? No. I think, like Hijab said yesterday when she tweeted about it, that run out by Shadab, that was a turning point. That was when
Absolutely.
Pakistan are on point in the field, it changes everything. It's like that catch Shadab took in the 2017 Champions Trophy final. When Pakistan are doing those things, you kind of, to quote the great Usman Samyuddin, you go into a hal. And this was a
Mhm.
hal. You could see it with the boys. And then the under fire openers say, all right, theek hai, doubt us. All right, here you go. Middle order, teri. And then they just start and they go on and they start doing. And then, can we just talk about Mohammad Haris? Can we just talk about having no fear in the semi final? I mean, we've been talking about one Pakistani wicketkeeper batsman coming out to bat in the 1992 semi final when the game was getting so close and hitting a 6 and a 4. A wicketkeeper batsman decides to come out and do the same. First, you hit a leg stump Yorker for 4, and then you decide to hit a bouncer for 6. Mada, unbelievable. Okay, that's when you knew. And then, when stuff like that happens, I think even non-believers want to start believing. You just can't stop yourself from believing that. So incredibly proud of this team, incredibly happy for them. The celebrations after the game had finished, just watching Zainab talking to the boys, Shaheen picking up Rizwan and Babar. It was just all of those emotions were coming in, and you couldn't stop yourself from just being so proud and being so ecstatic. You just couldn't. I think you'd have to have a heart of stone to not be happy for this team, to be happy for our fans, to be happy for everything.
I think we've lost Hassan Bhai, but just what he was alluding to.
And
Yeah,
then,
sorry. Yeah. Go for it, Hassan
yeah,
Bhai. I think we lost you in
sorry,
between,
and
but
then
carry on.
and then today, I do apologize. I think even my internet is overly excited. And then today, I don't think any of us saw this coming. I mean, I thought India had a very good end to the game. England bowled very well, but India took on Sam Curran, who's been the death bowling specialist, and they really put on a show with Pandya and all. But what's that they say? PSL mein khelo to kitne achhe ho jate ho. Alex Hales, clearly, Joss Butler. I mean, it's a hint, big man. You're coming down to Pakistan. Familiarize yourself. I know a couple of teams that need openers. Call me. Let's talk. Let's plan some stuff. Unbelievable the way Alex Hales, his redemption arc to go from not being in the England team to being their best player in this tournament. Baram, I think years later they'll be making Netflix specials and movies on this tournament. What a World Cup. What a World Cup this has been. I just hope it ends up like the 92 World Cup for us, but it's just been incredible to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they do make that next Netflix special on this years later, I hope they name it Kudrat Ka Nizam, because that has been the punchline. It started off as a joke. People were quite critical of Saqlain Mushtaq, that what sort of an explanation is this? And now it's just become that sort of a slogan, that you're going with it, and everyone is just like really excited, tweeting about it. And like Hassan Bhai said, like atheists explain this somehow. Like we don't know how to explain it. We're Pakistan fans and we don't know how to explain it. But let's talk about the Pakistan game first. I know we're getting a few questions about the India game, but we'll take those shortly. So yes, as Hassan Bhai pointed out, fantastic bowling performance. They were absolutely superb, restricting New Zealand to 38 for 2 in the power play. Shadab getting that run out of Devon Conway, who had scored quite a lot of runs versus Australia on the same ground. Then only letting New Zealand score about 56 in the first 10 overs, and then going for less than 100 in the final 10, getting them in and around 150, which is tailor-made for an opening pair like Babar and Rizwan. And for all the criticism, which was fair. Look, the criticism has always been fair. I keep pointing this out. It was the people who were terming them as selfish and questioning their intentions. That's what I personally had a problem with. But the criticism was absolutely fair. But boy, was that a silencing act for the ages. I mean, the way Babar got an early reprieve, but then cashed in, made the most of it. And the way he was timing the ball. And Rizwan just took on the New Zealand bowlers in the power play. Pakistan were 55 for no loss after the power play. And I was pinching myself. I was like, is this real? And it was just, I think they really set the tone after the bowlers. And once Pakistan were 55 for no loss after 6 overs, you felt that they have it in the bag. But of course, being Pakistan fans, you're never quite sure. And then in the end, you needed 21 off 3 overs. And then Mohammad Haris brought out those strokes. That hook that he scored against Lockie Ferguson hooked him out of the park. And how he drilled that Yorker through the covers for 4. I think that really decided the game eventually. And wahi baat hai, Haris ki jitni bhi tareef ki jaye kam hai. He's played one T20I prior to this World Cup, comes in as a traveling reserve and scores 3 crucial scores of 25-30 odd. And he really has been the difference in terms of impetus in Pakistan's middle order right after we lose the openers. So credit to him, and he's just been fantastic to watch. And a lot of people have been comparing him to Inzi of 92, but let me take your memory back to Moeen Khan in the 1992 semi-final. And the few boundaries that Moeen scored in that semi often go overlooked. People don't quite remember those. And I think that was, I'd liken Haris's knock to that particular knock.
Those, yeah, those were turning points. Those were turning points, Behram, in 92. Coming out and sweeping a fast bowler for 6, doing it again in 99. Moeen Khan, and just like you said, through the covers, a leg stump Yorker through the covers. Who does that?
That's absolute madness. But I just want to talk properly, guys. I want to give the right kind of attention to Babar and Rizwan. And how big of a plus is it for Pakistan's morale going forward into the final that the one area of concern, the top order, has now somewhat been solved? Both Rizwan and Babar have found their touch. They looked in really good nick. They shouldered that responsibility when the chips were down personally and when the team needed them most on the grandest of occasions. And that really is a testament to their character and goes on to show just how big players they are for Pakistan cricket and just their stature in world cricket as cricketers. So what would you like to say about that?
I mean, we've been winning games without the top order fighting before. We won 3 consecutive games without Babar and Rizwan fighting before. We might have won this without them, maybe, maybe not. But semi-final jeetne se zyada khushi mujhe is baat ki hai that they're back. They're finally in the groove. We have missed this so much. Aankhein taras gayi thi dekhne ko, Babar and Rizwan playing together and playing well. Obviously, I'll start with the bowling performance that Pakistan did. See, the difference between all the other teams and Pakistan team in this World Cup has been their bowling. You have to give credit where it's due. It's the bowling that has bailed you out literally in every single game abhi tak. Pakistan is the only team that has not conceded more than, I think, 150 or 160 runs. The only team who has not conceded more than that. That's ridiculous. Even in high scoring grounds, even against the opposition like South Africa and India, who are very batting heavy, you have not let them get away with the game when you were bowling. So that's the testimony to what Pakistan bowling does to you. And we all knew that Pakistan has a pretty good bowling. It's right up there, but we did not expect them to bamboozle the opposition like they did. So Shaheen, first of all, obviously taking that wicket of Finn Allen. I was ecstatic, jumping up and down because Finn Allen made me so nervous, so nervous. He has had a very good journey. He's had a very good journey, for New Zealand in this World Cup. But Shaheen is Shaheen. First over wickets. Nothing is better in the world than a first over wicket by Shaheen. Nothing is better than that. Maybe probably Babar's cover drive, but we'll talk about that later. So, like, that was the point where I was like, okay, the boys have showed up. And then the second wicket falling down when Shadab did that run out. That was ridiculously good. Look, the thing is that nobody pays a lot of attention to these moments, these crunch moments. Last year in the semi-final, there was a run out we missed that was for Mitch Marsh, right? That was right at the start of the game. That was in the 2021 semi-final. We missed that. Now imagine if we had gotten that run out, would we have played the final last year? We might have. See, that's how important that run out from Shadab was, because Devon Conway has the guts and has everything is an arsenal to take the game away from you on a big day, and that's what he could have done very easily. So hats off to Shadab. I don't have words to appreciate what he did on that particular day. He didn't look comfortable in the field. He stayed in the field for the 20 overs. He looked like he was struggling a bit while he was fielding. Didn't walk out. I mean, I have immense respect for him for that, because he's the vice captain. He understands that the team depends on him, as well as the Babar. So he understands that role very well. And then moving forward, Wasim Jr., Naseem. Oh, let's talk about Naseem Shah. I've been waiting for this moment. This is my moment. That last over by Naseem Shah was probably one of the best overs I've seen in this World T20. Death bowling, I'm talking about. Dude, I didn't think that Naseem Shah could bowl that well. I know he's an all-face bowler. I know Babar depends on him to bowl well. But the way that Babar trusted him with that final over in a semi-final of a World Cup, you're giving your ball, your your 20th over to a 19-year-old who's playing his first World Cup, and he shows up big time. He takes that responsibility. His wickets bracket does not show how well he's bowled, unfortunately, but he's been so good. I can talk about him all day, but yeah, Naseem Shah is probably that X factor that other teams might have been missing in this World Cup from what we've seen. The death bowling, all courtesy of Naseem Shah and Haris Rauf and Shaheen, of course. And then came the batting. हाथों में तस्बीह पकड़ी हुई है, बाबर पे पढ़ पढ़ के मैं फूक रही हूँ, बिस्मिल्लाह यार, आज चल जाओ बाबर, तुम्हें कसम है, तुम्हें पाकिस्तान की कसम है, जिसकी खानी खा लो, आज चल जाओ. That drop catch from Devon Conway was only because मैं फूक रही थी उसके ऊपर बैठ के, जो है ना, दुआएं फूक रही थी टीवी पे. That's the only reason why I got dropped, by the way. लेकिन उसके बाद यार that boundary towards the offside by Babar, जो square की तरफ जो उसने boundary मारी थी, that was when I took the sigh of relief. I was like, okay, थोड़ी उम्मीद आ रही है. And then that straight drive जब बाबर ने खेली ना, so I personally believe कि whenever Babar plays that straight drive, he's on top. He's confident. He's good now. So that's when I understood कि हाँ ठीक है, Babar is fine now. Babar he knows what he needs to do, and this is exactly the kind of stage that he likes. This is exactly the kind of pressure he likes. वो जो sigh of relief है ना, वो मुझे आया था straight drive, the one that he played to Lockie Ferguson. That was ridiculous. Rizwan was excellent as always, and Rizwan was very attacking in the first few overs, जो कि help कर रहा था बाबर को भी. Babar missed a few deliveries, obviously, but then Rizwan took on, the bowlers, and he played a couple of ridiculous shots on the offside. I've never seen Rizwan play that well on the offside. I know he likes the leg side a lot, but that was really, really good from Rizwan. So credit to Rizwan. I think Babar की form वापस आने में उसका बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, और हमेशा से रहा है. The way the Babar and Rizwan play with each other, you have to understand that they complement each other a lot. और अगर एक की form खराब होती है, दूसरा automatically जो है ना वो थोड़ा सा down हो जाता है. And then comes Mohammad Haris. You've already said, like, that boy is ridiculous, man. I love him so much. I love his energy. The way he told Zainab Abbas at the end of the game, I told you that Pakistan jeetega. Man, I want that confidence in life. If I die without that confidence that Mohammad Haris have, it would be my loss. I think everyone should have that confidence in life, जो कि Mohammad Haris के पास है. So yeah, I think I've like given you a very good overview of the game, and let's move to Hassan by what he has to say.
2 seconds, Hassan bhai, मैं जरा थोड़ा इस पे add कर लूं, and then I'll pass it on to you. So lots of points brought over you there by Hijab, and yes, Pakistan did have the near perfect game. I know you love to talk about Naseem Shah, and he may not feature highly in the wickets column, but I think his economy rate is under 6 in the tournament, and that really speaks volumes of his effort with the ball in this tournament. And you brought this up in the previous show. Like, look, we've been seeing Naseem in red ball cricket for quite a while, but he's fairly new to white ball cricket in the international arena. So you have to give him props for that. Shaheen Shah Afridi is a massive plus. He's only gotten better each game he's played, and now he looks like his old self. Still a few miles per hour short of what he used to be, but I bet he'll get there as well. And he's getting those first over wickets. Got that crucial wicket of Kane Williamson towards the death, and ended with 2 for 24 in 4 overs. That is a stellar superstar performance. And then of course Babar Azam. I mean, we were all really, really hoping and praying. मैंने तो tweets तैयार रखी हुई थी अपनी कि यार चल जा तू एक दफा बाबर, और बस फिर मैं ये ट्वीटें मारना शुरू करूं, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा हेट आ रहा था ट्विटर पे, और मुझे यकीन नहीं आ रहा था कि ये असल है. लाइक, वेयर हैव यू फैंस बीन लाइक फॉर द लास्ट 5-6 years? Like, this guy has carried you. Babar and Rizwan have carried you as a unit, and anyone who denies that is living in La La Land or something. And just the way he was striking the ball, and as you rightly pointed it out, Rizwan took the bowlers to the cleaners in the power play, particularly Tim Saudi. He started swatting him on the leg side, and that was just amazing to watch. Haris Rauf की death bowling का तो सबको पहले से पता है. Mohammad Wasim has been doing his bits. Shadab Khan had comparatively had an off game if you compare it to his previous efforts. But then again, he induced that run out, and that was the turning point. And as Hijab pointed out, that these are those moments. It's a game of fine margins. और अगर आप ये moments जीत जाएं, तो आपकी तरफ काफी ज्यादा फेवर में आ जाती है गेम, and that I think really kind of took the momentum towards Pakistan. And even though Daryl Mitchell played a fantastic knock to get New Zealand to 153, let's not discredit their effort. यहाँ पे सब हम पाकिस्तान की तारीफ नहीं कर सकते, न्यूजीलैंड की तारीफ करनी चाहिए. They actually did really well to get to 153, and they ran between the wickets really well. They at least stole 15 to 20 runs just running between the wickets. So I think credit to them for that. But ultimately, Pakistan was the better outfit on the day. Hassan bhai, ab aap le le, maine kafi bol diya, ab aapka bhi bahut dil cha raha hoga, so take it away.
Yeah, I think you and Hijab have both summed it up perfectly. Look, it's just that when you look at the little things, you look at You look at that Nawaz coming on to bowl to Phillips. A lot of people are like, oh, Babar is a captain. He's very mediocre. Usko to science ka nahi pata. Now, we all knew that was the best matchup for Glenn. The way Babar celebrated with Nawaz, he knew it was a plan that had come off. He just knew. And not to forget, Nawaz had an opportunity to almost run Phillips out. And part of me was like, oh my God, why didn't we take this chance? Phillips is the danger man. Yet Babar had belief. Nawaz had belief. Shadab's run out, like Hijab said, fine margins. You need those things to go your way, but you need to create those opportunities. On another day, Pakistan can sometimes be lethargic in the field. Sometimes the energy is not there. Then you're seeing Shaheen. Then obviously Naseem Shah is not getting the credit that he deserves. Wicket column or not, if you're going at under 6 and over, that is incredible. That is world class. And I keep repeating it to people who want to have a go at the kid. He is still a kid. He's still learning the game. How amazing it is that you have someone like him doing that. And then the best thing, look, yes, sometimes we have to remember not to get too personally hit by the criticism. I've always believed that the criticism regarding the opening pairs ability at times to accelerate has been very fair. I've never gotten away from that. People think I have way too much loyalty to Rizwan because he's my franchise captain. Yes, but at the same time, I'm not going to blindly defend him. But where are all the haters now? When he was hitting those shots on the offside, that's my point. Criticize when they're wrong, but at least support them when they're good. And he did something completely different because New Zealand would not have planned that. They would have thought, right, give him nothing on the legs, bowl it on the off stump. He can't hit it there. And that's what you do. That's a sign of a big player. Babar, like Hijab said, that pressure came off him when he's hitting those straight drives, when he's hitting bolt for fours, when you're getting memories of that 2019 World Cup, you're just reminded that's vintage Babar. To perform under pressure, to perform with so many people, I really love what Babar said yesterday, कि वो fans भी खुश हों और लोग भी खुश हों और वो जो टीवी पे बैठ के बातें होते हैं वो भी खुश हों. बिल्कुल खुश हों आप सब, बिकॉज आपके पास अगर और कुछ नहीं है करने के लिए सिवाय टीवी पे बैठ के बुराइयां करने की, बात बार बार वही आ जाती है कि प्लीज feel free to criticize the performance, but don't get into things like, talking about their intention or talking about अपने लिए खेल रहे हैं भाई,
बनाने के लिए खेलता है सिर्फ बाबर, ये वाली
so
बातें मत करो.
It's really, really awful. So now, incredible, the heartbreak of the semi-final, and we'll talk about it in a bit. The final promises to be something very stressful again for Pakistan. But look, my point is we have to savor these moments. We have to enjoy them. This is our first final in 13 years. Okay, the last time we were in a final, I had hair and it was black. It's been that long. My point is we need to enjoy this time. We need to be grateful for these opportunities and just back these boys. They've won 4 on the bounce against really good teams. And I saw some people, and you know who you are, just sitting there and thinking and saying, say thank you to the Netherlands team. Yes, we will. करेंगे बिल्कुल. The next any Dutch cricket fan that I meet, I swear to you, if you're hearing this, मैं आप सबको सोन हलवा दूंगा. ठीक है? करेंगे. We will be happy for it. We will be grateful for it. आप फिक्र मत करें. It was meant to be. This was an opportunity. We still had to beat Bangladesh. We still had to beat New Zealand. It's not like Netherlands beat South Africa and we automatically made it to the final. So it's just been wonderful. The openers clicking, it puts you in a good spot. It gives you an opportunity, and these boys can be very proud of the way they've come back from the brink, like we all said. And yeah, I think they're just going to go to sleep telling themselves, 92 mein bhi yahi hua tha. And nobody could make sense of it in 92. Nobody's making sense of it again here. Hopefully, I think we need to push for all the years ending in 2 that have World Cup tournaments to be held in Australia. And, that should be Pakistan's only focus at the ICC going forward. If a year ends in 2, 10 years from now, T20 or the other World Cup, only in Australia, bhai. Or hame pehle 1-2 matches hara dena and we'll take it from there. It's just incredible. And like Behram said, Kudrat ka Nizam, it started off as a joke. A lot of credit to the coaching staff, a lot of credit to Coach Saqlain Mushtaq for having that belief in taking not the easy route and leaving Haris out, and going with something like, maybe going with, I know Pakistani fans have been very critical of Khushdil, but people could have said Khushdil or Asif as senior players and guys who have performed in the PSL. Trusting Haris, backing him. A lot of people took what Babar said wrong the other day when he said, Ki game finish karo. He was actually complimenting the young man, telling him to learn from that. And yesterday, Babar did say that, look, he's the kid who came out there and made the difference. So just back these boys. And what's most important for all of you to now remember is कि just make sure कि हिजाब की तस्बीह गुम ना हो, उसके पास सारा वक्त रहे, and just make sure she has that tasbih. सब थैंक यू बोले, आप ट्वीट करें
बाबर
हिजाब, आई वांट
कैच ड्रॉप करवाया बाबर को उसने।
बिल्कुल, आप हिजाब, हिजाब के हाथ में तस्बीह शुड बी ट्रेंडिंग टुडे, ऑलराइट, दैट्स व्हाट द फोकस शुड बी, दैट इज कुदरत का निजाम।
बिल्कुल। लॉट्स ऑफ गुड पॉइंट्स ओवर देयर हसन भाई। मैं तो कहता हूँ कि आपने सोन हलवा की बात की है तो उनको जरा बुलाकर थोड़ा फ्यूजन मार लेते हैं सोन हलवा का, इफ यू नो व्हाट आई मीन।
I do,
बट
totally good for it.
थोड़े से सवाल लेते हैं। अरम, आई विल कम टू योर इंडिया क्वेश्चन, वी जस्ट डूइंग पाकिस्तान राइट नाउ। मेरे दिमाग में रहेगा आपका क्वेश्चन, विल टेक दैट. So what else do we have over here? Aram also points out that not to forget Pakistan's fielding as well. Definitely saved 10 to 15 runs over there. For sure. They were throwing themselves everywhere. Yes, there were 2 run out opportunities that they missed out on, but other than that, the feeling was spot on. And you could tell that Pakistan aaj khelne aayi hai. Aaj Pakistan galvanize hokar aayi hai, and they're not going to give an inch to the opposition. So yes, very good point that you brought over there. And also, New Zealand were quite lackluster in the field. Let's be honest. They dropped a few catches.
By their standards.
And
yes.
they did had a few misfields. So I think they also lost the plot over there and maybe succumbed to pressure. So what else do we have over here? देखते हैं हम. Mother is here again. Hi guys, Mubarak to be in the finals. Mubarak to everyone who's watching this. All Pakistan supporters. 92 की बस आप लोग बातें करते रहें इसी तरह, and hopefully Pakistan 92 की तरह जीत भी जाएगा. Arisha Arshad says Sky's wicket was the key. We'll come to that, Arisha. India की questions जरा आप लोग फिर से पूछ लेना once we get there. Just ask your questions again ताकि miss ना हो जाए हमसे. Right now we're focusing on Pakistan. Okay, what else? Death by Naseem after death by Harry. Death by this team हो गई है मेरी, Arisha. बस सब ने बहुत खुश कर दिया. Faizan Khan asks, versus England, bat first or bowl first? That is a good question, and I'll answer it first. I would say runs on the board. I know that Pakistan is a really good chasing team, but I just feel that Melbourne की pitch पे, MCG में, we almost defended 160 versus India. And India की bowling, मुझे England की bowling, I mean, similar हैं. They're not very, very threatening, and especially if Mark Wood is not playing, then they don't have that express pacer. So I would put runs on the board. What about you guys?
I mean, I would definitely go with bat first. Did we bat first in the 92 final? I think we did, right?
Yes, we
We
did.
put the runs. We put the runs on the board. So, like keeping up with the script, you have to bat first. I think थोड़ा सा ये कि हमें chance मिल जाएगा to score freely if we bat first, and especially considering the form of Mohammad Haris, who I really hope he continues with that. If he's given a free hand at the up the order to go for runs, I think he can put pressure on England bowling. Or agar Mark Wood nahi khel raha, obviously they are missing that express pace element already. So let's see how like, I'm not sure how much of a swing Chris Wokes or Ben Stokes or Sam Curran is going to get at the very start. Don't think they're like that much effective in the power play. India did definitely play them very cautiously today, but I still fail to see कि कोई extraordinary bowling नहीं हो रही थी उस वहाँ पे. They were very cautious themselves. I don't know, that's my observation. I just feel like if there's a batsman you have up the order who can dominate the bowlers शुरू में, यार देखें, आपको पता है power play जो team जीत रही है ना, वो match जीत रही है यहाँ पे. Doesn't matter if you're batting first or if you're bowling first, ठीक है? If you are batting ferociously through the power play, so you are probably going to win. Now I know that Babar and Rizwan are beasts when it comes to chasing, right? But khuda na khasta, if you have a target of like 180 plus or 190 plus on the board, even Babar and Rizwan are not going to do much. ठीक है? वो बहुत extraordinary कोई चीज इतनी आ नहीं सकती इतनी ज्यादा. मतलब तो मेरा तो यही suggestion होगा to Pakistan team that if they end up winning the toss, go for the bat first. Freely खेले, enjoy themselves, enjoy the vibes. I'm pretty sure the whole stadium is going to be green on the day. So just like, you know, we saw yesterday's Sydney crowds with the 12th man. Goosebumps, literally, guys, goosebumps after watching those videos on TikTok and on Twitter and everywhere. Like, seriously, man, such good crowd. I don't remember the last time Pakistan had such good crowd overseas. So really looking forward to Sunday and bat first Pakistan. Yep.
All right, Hassan bhai.
You know, it's interesting. Obviously, you do feel like batting first would give Pakistan an advantage. It's just that I feel, honestly, that after the New Zealand game, where at Sydney, 5 of the last 6 sides to win had batted first, I think it just gives you a little bit of confidence to believe in yourself. Now, look, obviously, the way England played today, it's going to be stressful. You're going to worry about that, the form of their openers. We know how destructive Joss Butler is. We know how destructive England today, it seemed like, would bat till 11. My main worry for that game today for India was that England bat very deep. It wasn't that their openers would take the game away. So while I'm happy to bat first, and I do believe that you guys make an excellent point that having that freedom to set the score gives I'm also not as flustered if we bat second. I mean, we may not win the toss at all, and that might be out of our control. What I think will be in our control now, will give us some confidence, is obviously the way the opening batters played. Now, just recently, even though yes, if Mark Wood misses out, Pakistan's chances go up. I think England and Pakistan will both feel, having played each other so often in this last sort of 40-day period. We saw that Pakistani openers chase down 200. Obviously, that's not going to happen all the time. Conditions are different. But I just think in the back of our minds, batting first or bowling first, there will be that little bit, I don't want to say comfort, but there'll be that little bit of a feeling that, yes, on our day, we can do it. So much as I do believe that we should bat first, it's not like I think that we should bet the house on batting first. I do believe we can do both. Equally, I think Haris coming in changes it, because Haris is someone England would not have bowled to at all. Equally, I believe that having the fact that we missed Shaheen in the home games when we played against England is something that plays into our favor a little bit. And if England miss Mark Wood, so you kind of look at it a little bit and say, okay, Pakistan would be thinking about all of this. I think it'll all come down to our mental approach. And if our mental approach, batting first or batting second, is that we believe that we can go out and do this, I think we should be okay. I just hope it's a kind of pitch where it's not affected by winning the toss, which we have in this World Cup seen. Par scores have tended to be lower, but teams have defended them. Hijab made a very good point that till the game against New Zealand, we didn't let anybody cross 130 after the first two games, which is a pretty incredible bowling effort. So I think England will be thinking about that. For Pakistan, I think the strategy just has to be to believe. Bat first or bat second, we have to just believe, and we have to back ourselves. And I really hope that we see a repeat of this fielding performance. When Pakistan is fielding well, everything is right. So hoping and backing the boys to do well either way. 92 की फील रखनी है तो बाबर, आपको पता है कौन सी शर्ट पहन के आपने बाहर जाना है टॉस से पहले, और आपने कौन सी स्पीच देनी है वही कीजिएगा, और फिर आप बता दीजिएगा कि जी we're batting first. And if by the 92 final is anything to go by, we have to pick our worst fielder to take the catch of the tournament, which is what Hijab Zahid did in that final. I can never get over that catch, because I remember asking Hijab Bhai about it, and he said, "तुम अपनी बात कर रहे हो, मुझे भी नहीं लग रहा था मैं catch करूंगा." So if I don't know who our worst fielder is, but because I think generally we're pretty good, but if someone pulls off a catch like that, guys, then it's coming home.
Speaking of t-shirts and finals, if you guys just take a look at what Hijab is wearing, she's wearing Grassroots Cricket's merch. 1 minute down, next minute up. If you want to get your hands on our merchandise, go to our website today and shop at our store. There are a lot of other designs as well. I can't wait to get my hands on them. अभी मैं जरा travel कर रहा हूँ, दुबई बैठा हूँ. जब पाकिस्तान आऊंगा तो हर वीडियो में आपको नजर आएगी. But I think Hassan bhai, you bring up a fantastic point that look, Pakistan has had success chasing, and they did chase down 200 versus England earlier this, not even year, it was like a month ago. So it's fairly recent, and this particular Pakistani team has shown us that they are very well capable of chasing down a target. And the way England go about their cricket, maybe if Pakistan set like 160, 170, we would be a bit too nervous going in and trying to defend that. But ultimately, as you said, it's all about the belief in one's ability, and Pakistan is riding high on that belief. They're definitely galvanized, and everyone talks about them as a mercurial team. But this team is fairly consistent, I'd say, that they have really proven that time and again that you can rely on them to be dependable. They'll give you the scare every now and then, but they win you a lot of games. And on that note, I just think, honestly, after this conversation, it's a good toss to lose. I hope Babar Azam loses the toss और हमारे हाथ से ही निकल जाए ये चीज. तो आगे चलते हैं questions में. Asjad Pasha Siddiqui says he wants to bowl first, so there's that. Zahir Khan says Pak going great. Need a repeat performance after NZ. So glad Babar made all of those match-fixing ex-experts eat their words. And yes, I'm very happy about that also, Zahir Khan. And Aram Hamid is talking about England again. Aram, you can save your England-India questions for a bit later. Let's just finish up on Pakistan. Furqan Ali says 92 will repeat inshallah. यकीन रखना है पाकिस्तान. बिल्कुल फुरकान, आपने भी यकीन रखना है. हम तो चल रहे हैं वाइब्स पे. आपने पिछला शो भी देखा होगा, हम तो पूरी वाइब्स पे चल रहे थे. तो उसमें से कुछ भी अभी बदला नहीं है. Thank you Zahir and Aram for the praise, means a lot. Furqan Ali wants Pakistan to chase. So if there is no other, there is one question. What do you think about Pakistan England? Hosla I'm a bit scared after seeing today's game. And this is from my mother. So Amma, आपको मैं बस इतना बोलूंगा कि पाकिस्तान जब पूरा फेवरेट्स बनकर जाते हैं ना किसी भी नॉकआउट स्टेजेस में तो हमेशा हम कोई लिद ही घोल कर आते हैं. But whenever we go as underdogs, we always bring out our best cricket. And Pakistan are clear underdogs in this final, by the way. England has been the best white ball team since 2015. And the way they absolutely butchered, pulverized India today in Adelaide, I think that it's no question that they are the clear favorites in this final. And I'm happy with that. That's exactly where I want them to be. तो अगर अंडरडॉग्स है पाकिस्तान तो चलेगा भाई, जीत जाएंगे, मेरा तो यही यकीन है. और आप लोग क्या कहना चाहेंगे, हसन, हिजाब?
Oh no, absolutely. We've always been the team to watch out when we've been counted out by everybody. So वही वाली बात है कि always the underdogs, always the corner tigers. That works for us. Not just saying that works for the fans. It actually works for the team as well. I don't know how that works, but it does. जब आप उनको कह देंगे लड़कों को जाके यार तुम लोग से नहीं होगा ये, तुम लोग घर जा रहे हो, बस ये ट्रॉफी तुम लोगों के बस की बात नहीं है. That's exactly when they decided to show up. So that's what we want to do. England ke saath, definitely England is the number one T20 team in the world. England is the white ball beast at the moment, and the kind of cricket they play is very unpredictable. We all saw what happened today with India. So yeah, definitely डर तो लग रहा है. आंटी से भी यही कहूंगी, आंटी मुझे भी बहुत डर लग रहा है. अभी तो नहीं, मैंने हाथ में तस्वीर पकड़ी हुई होती तो वो डर सारा उधर ही निकल रहा होता है मेरा. लेकिन definitely डर तो लग रहा है, लेकिन it will definitely all depend on how they come out. देखिए, I'm all for Qudrat ka nizam and stuff like that, but let's not think everything that happened and the whole journey that Pakistan had up until now was all Qudrat ka nizam. No, man, it was a lot of effort. It was overcoming pressure. It was being clutch at the moments that it mattered the most. So not to take let's not take away any kind of effort from the boys. They showed up. They showed ke, especially just on a semi-final khela in the last two matches, versus South Africa. They played like a champion team. They deserve this spot very much. They deserve to be in the final, and they deserve to win the World Cup if that's the team that shows up on the day as well. T20 is all about that particular day. It doesn't matter if you're a seeded number 10 team or a seeded number 1 team. Literally does not matter. It's all about how you show up. So yeah, बाबर अगर ऊपर नहीं पहन सकते यार तो अंदर वो अंडरशर्ट पहना ना टाइगर वाली, वही पहन के खेलना है बस. That's all I'll say.
बिल्कुल. हसन भाई, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे, फिर आगे चलते हैं सवाल.
I think इसमें एक बहुत important चीज है with regards to Pakistan, and apologies to everyone because for once I'm going to try and sound serious and philosophical. I think one of the reasons we do well under pressure is that हमारे ऊपर बचपन से ही प्रेशर डाला जाता है. पाकिस्तान के ऊपर इतना प्रेशर डाला जाता है. यहाँ पे हम जनरली हमारी क्रिकेट में बहुत सारी चीजों में आप when you try to express yourself, there's always that pressure on you. I think why we do well under pressure is that when you don't have to think so much about the things that we see people, asking you to do, it kind of relaxes you. And I think Pakistan cricket is at its best when it's relaxed, when it's calm. And I don't think any of us is wrong in saying that England are an incredible team. They've just shown you today how good they are. It's not a case of us trying to make that up. You just look at them. Look at their performances. They are an incredible team. They start as overwhelming favorites because of the depth that they possess, batting from 1 to 11, guys who can bowl, exceptional fielding side, a lot of good guys in the reserves. Even, someone like Mark Wood would be an integral player for a team like Pakistan. If he's not playing, they're able to call in guys like Jordan and Willie, who are proper all-rounders. So I think it's very important to remember that it's not just about the underdog tag suiting us. We actually are the underdogs in this scenario. England are that good. Take nothing away from New Zealand, like Bahram said earlier. They put in a great effort. Take nothing away from England, but take nothing away from Pakistan. All the teams that have made it this far, India included, did it because they deserve to be that far. Mm-hmm. They all played well when it mattered to make the last 4. And the 2 teams in the final are the ones that played well when it mattered in the semi-finals. Pakistan starting off as underdogs is also not always a great thing, because then you also have an incredible amount of pressure in case of, when if England run away with it, everybody will be like, aap log to bahut khush the underdog ban ke. So I think it's just a case of Pakistan, just having that belief, going in with it. And the most important thing, what I like, and I'll repeat it again and again, I don't care who has a problem with it, it's good that these boys back each other. And yes, I'd much rather have a team of people who get along than have a toxic team that wins trophies, because you're setting a good template for the future. I want kids like Haris, when they come into the team, to feel that the seniors care and that they are welcome, because we saw Pakistan cricket go through some seriously toxic times. And aap sab mujhe trophies yaad kara dein, sirf 2 hi thi. So it's not like we were constantly winning things. If this group of boys goes and wins World Cups, 2 trophies. They've actually equaled anything done by our toxic era. So when
आप
people
टीवी
say
चैनल्स खोल लें यार, आपको टॉक्सिक एरा वहीं सामने नजर आ जाएगी.
वही आपके सामने आज आपका वही बने हुए हैं. तो my point is that when people say, and I see that both all of Behram, Hijab and myself, we get this criticism a lot that you guys are too into the vibes and all. It's nice to have a team that we can relate to, that the guys want to go out there and fight for each other. If they didn't care about each other, these selfish players, we wouldn't be in the final today. Okay, if they were selfish, Rizwan and Babar could have both said, "ठीक है, we'll bat 20 overs, both make 70 each, match हार जाएंगे, but rankings तो रहेंगी." So let's please not be like that. Let's give them credit where they deserve it, and let's criticize them where they deserve it. So I think we बात है कि for Pakistan, it's just a case of embracing ourselves, our template, whatever. It's not perfect, it has its issues, but just believe in it. And our job as fans is to back the team irrespective of what happens. मैं आपको आज भी वही आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा, अगर आप सेमीफाइनल की जीत एंजॉय कर सकते हैं फाइनल में पहुंचने के लिए, बट फाइनल पे अगर खुदा ना खास्ता हारते हैं और आपको सब वही प्रॉब्लम्स याद आ जाती हैं, तो फिर प्लीज आप ऐसी जीत मत एंजॉय करें, बिकॉज विनिंग एंड लूजिंग इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, एंड वी शुड जस्ट बी हैप्पी दैट दिस गाइज आर ट्राइंग देयर बेस्ट. And inshallah, it works out. In case it doesn't, you get up, you go again. The sun will still rise tomorrow. There will still be more cricket to be played.
Yeah, and like our vice captain Shadab Khan pointed out in his tweet, that we win together and we lose together, and this is our team. So treat it like that, support it like that. And मैं तो बल्कि तब ये tweet की थी जब पाकिस्तान 2-2 हार गई थी. God forbid they lose all of their future matches in this tournament. I'm still going to dedicate every last ounce of my soul in support of this team, and particularly this team, because they're such a likable bunch. There's such good ambassadors on and off the field, and they're all just so cute. बेचारे sweet cake काट रहे होते हैं यार, हमेशा आपको प्यार नहीं आता उनके ऊपर. But yeah, ultimately, look, all said and done, you have to beat the best to be the best, and England are the best. So I'm glad that Pakistan have them as opponents in the final, and I really hope that they can bring their best, put their best foot forward, because if they do, England ko bhi hira degi Pakistan. It's not like they're invincible. Pakistan lost 4-3 in that series versus them at home, so they can definitely beat them. They definitely have the skill set. They possess that to defeat them. So let's take a few more questions. Faizan Khan says, not sure why some folks want Pakistan to play like other teams. Pakistan has their own template, and it's taken them to the World Cup finals and semis and the Asia Cup final in the last 12 months. Fantastic point, Faizan Khan. But I'd also like to add that based on everything that I've heard from Saklan and Babar, is that they don't even have a set template. They try to kind of go in with a nice bit of mix between aggression and caution. And they try to execute that in random phases of the game based on their own understanding of the situation. It's their game awareness. Sometimes it comes off, and sometimes it looks terrible. They are human beings. So learn to live with that, guys. हो जाती है गलती. टीम पूरी जान मारी है, पूरी ठीक नीयत के साथ खेल रही है, उस चीज की आप फिक्र मत करें. Zahir Khan, today was a repeat performance. I think I already took this. I think Zahir Khan wants some of that halwa as well, Hassan bhai, so you better talk to him after. And Risha says, thank you, Hijab. So Hijab, you've got some love over there. And what else? Some more love for all of us. Hijab shirt sums up Pakistan cricket perfectly. So get your hands on it. हमारा भी थोड़ा बिजनेस का फायदा करा दें यार, ग्रासरूट्स क्रिकेट को जरा बढ़ा दें, शर्टें खरीद लें हमारी. Zaid Babar asks, doesn't Pakistan have a weakness while setting targets? They normally set a below par target, especially in Asian conditions. Don't know about Australia. Zaid, बहुत अच्छा point है आपका. Target setting has been an issue for Pakistan. I was only going for bat first because final है, final का pressure होता है. England minus Ben Stokes has been known to succumb under that pressure chasing. अभी भी श्रीलंका के खिलाफ अगर स्टोक्स ना खड़े होते तो क्या पता वो मैच वो हार ही जाते. तो मेरा ये रैशनल है, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन कि टारगेट चेस करके पाकिस्तान जीत नहीं सकता. इनफैक्ट मैंने तो अभी एंड में यही बोला है कि इट्स अ गुड टॉस टू लूज मेरी तरफ से, तो हार ही जाएं. टॉस तो ठीक है.
आई थिंक मेरा उस पे थोड़ा सा ना यहाँ पे रीसेंसी बायस भी आ जाएगा, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली आज जिस तरह का चेस इंग्लैंड ने किया है, ठीक है, जब आप देखते हो यार एक टीम जो है वो 170 169 चेस कर रही है with in the 16th over with 10 wickets in hand, that is ridiculous. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा recency bias भी यहाँ पे आ जाता है कि I understand that you wouldn't want England chasing.
बिल्कुल.
तो लेकिन ये कि that's like Behram said कि जिस तरह बाबर रिजवान जो है वो हर मैच में 10 विकेटों से नहीं जिताते, इस तरह बटलर हिल्स भी आपको हर मैच 10 विकेटों से नहीं जिताएंगे. और दूसरी बड़ी बात ये है कि आपकी बॉलिंग में बहुत फर्क है between the opponent that was England was playing against today and then Pakistani bowling. टच वुड अल्लाह में नजर ना लगाए बिल्कुल भी हमारी बॉलिंग को, बट देयर इज अ क्लियर डिफरेंस एग्जीक्यूशन में, ऑप्शंस में. आपके पास जो ऑप्शंस है बॉल करने के सारा कुछ, एंड आई रियली लाइक हाउ बाबर हैज यूज्ड हिज बॉलिंग रिसोर्सेज इस मैच में, बिकॉज आई रियली फेल्ट कि जब ऑब्वियसली अभी हम बात करेंगे इंग्लैंड के बारे में, आई रियली फेल्ट कि रोहित शर्मा वाज नॉट एट पार विद यूजिंग हिज बॉलर्स टुडे. सो दैट रियली clears the picture as well कि आपको समझ आ जाती है that how ridiculously good Babar has been with his bowling changes.
जी
I just want to say star sports moment from Hijab by saying the opponent who England was playing today. That's as star sports as it gets. Not saying you know who, but the opponent that England played. That's how I'm going forward in the future. Hijab Bogle. Just exactly how to say it.
बिल्कुल सही हो गया ये. अच्छा जी, Zaid Babar again says if MCG is green and seamer friendly like it was early in the tournament, shouldn't we bowl first? देखेंगे Zaid Babar, देखते हैं अब कैप्टन और कोच सब असेस करेंगे विकेट को जब वो वहां पहुंचेंगे. And MCG is not a high scoring venue. इतना तो मुझे पता है, पावर scores वहाँ पे नीचे होते हैं. Which is why I feel like if Pakistan get to like 160, 170, we'll have a good shot. But anyway, काफी ज्यादा हमने पाकिस्तान में बात कर ली. I'm just going to take a final few questions on Pakistan. बीच में काफी messages आ रहे हैं कि definitely better than Jhantu captaincy. So thank you guys. आप यहाँ पे हैं और वहां पे नहीं आए. नो दैट्स वे मोर एंटरटेनिंग. गालियां वालियां चलती हैं वहां पे सारी, बड़ा मजा आता है. मगर थैंक यू फॉर ट्यूनिंग इन टू अस. हमें भी टेंशन थी मैन. लोग कहते
नहीं,
हैं
वैसे
यार नमाज़ें करनी अपनी.
I was in that space for a while. और शुरू में obviously they were all getting their frustrations out, but later on they were actually really good points that they made as well. So obviously गुस्सा तो होता है जब भी आपकी टीम बाहर होती है, और उन्होंने कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी वो गुस्सा निकालने में in their own very creative और रंगीन किस्म का जो उनका तरीका है. लेकिन the points that they made were actually not that bad.
Yeah, fair. So विशेष, विशाल, स्लॉग स्वीप, सारे जो आप हो, आप भी कभी हमारे शो में आ जाओ. हम तो आपकी स्पेस में आते हैं और मेरा भी यही होता है. लाइक आफ्टर फ्यू आवर्स इनटू दैट स्पेस, जब वो कॉमेडिक एलिमेंट आ जाता है ना, जब अब्यूसेस तो होती हैं एंड तक, मगर वो फिर खुश होकर हंसी मजाक में करने लग जाते हैं ना, तब मुझे बड़ा मजा आता है. शुरू में तो बड़ा मुश्किल होता है वो सुनना, बट इट्स माय गिल्टी प्लेजर गाइस, माफ कर देना मुझे, ठीक है. अच्छा जी, हादी रिजवी, व्हाट शुड पाकिस्तान डू इफ दे विन द टॉस? यार ये हो गए बहुत सवाल, आप वापस शो देख लेना और कर लेना, हमने काफी दफा आंसर कर लिए.
यार आपको मैं बताती हूँ, टॉस भूल जाएं, आप भूल जाएं. टॉस
हाँ,
कुछ नहीं होता.
टॉस को दिमाग से निकाल
पे आता है ना, तो टॉस कुछ नहीं होता. दिमाग से निकाल दें आप. बस कुछ भी पढ़े.
Play your game.
कंट्रोल द कंट्रोलेबल्स. अब आपका थेरेपिस्ट बन गया हूं यहाँ पे. कंट्रोल द कंट्रोलेबल्स गाइस, सब कुछ आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं हो सकता. अच्छा, सो आई थिंक दैट इज इनफ ऑन पाकिस्तान. बहुत बहुत माजरत अगर किसी का सवाल कोई रह गया हो. आई ट्राई टू आंसर एवरीथिंग. काफी देर हमने फोकस कर लिए पाकिस्तान पे, सो आई वांट टू मूव ऑन टू इंडिया. एंड द नंबर वन क्वेश्चन दैट वी हैव ओवर हियर, मैं भूला नहीं हूं अरम, आई स्टिल हैव योर क्वेश्चन एंड आई वांट टू एड्रेस दिस एज वेल. ही आस्क्ड दैट वाज Rohit's statement putting the blame on the bowlers for today's defeat correct? And I think I disagree with that. I seriously disagree with that, Aram, because देखें, आपकी अगर belter of a surface पे batters ने 15 ओवर में 100 रन बनाए हैं, 3 wickets down, आप खुद कप्तान होकर 28 deliveries में 27 बना रहे हो, whereas you yourself have talked about, you know, changing the mindset of this team and going gung-ho and berserk up top, and you've advocated for that approach so much. कम से कम हमारा बाबर ये बोलता तो नहीं है ना जाके. तो आपने खुद इस तरह की बातें की हुई हैं, and then you don't execute that. You leave everything in the end for Pandya to do. Hardik Pandya अगर आज ना होते, and by the way, he is like pretty much the best T20 player any team can have. He is worth his weight in gold. Brilliant all-round cricketer, और बहुत ज्यादा तारीफ करनी बनती है हार्दिक पांड्या की. But if it wasn't for Pandya, you were not getting close to 170, and it was an absolute no-show. बिल्कुल कोई कॉन्टेस्ट होता ही मत. तो ठीक है आपके बॉलर्स ने बुरी बॉलिंग की, but had you scored 20-30 extra runs, the scoreboard pressure would have been enough to make England think twice. England might not have played as freely. So I think it is an extremely unfair assessment to put the blame on the bowlers when the batting did not deliver at all after promising a certain kind of gameplay. I think it's very important to stress that, because Adelaide में batting surfaces होती हैं. It was a belter of a surface. Batting track था. So I think that's scapegoating over there by Rohit Sharma. I'm not a fan of that at all. And I think India's bowlers have done fairly well in the tournament. Bhuvneshwar से आपने अच्छी bowling देखी tournament के अंदर. ठीक है, आज नहीं देखी. Arshdeep was stellar throughout. He's the find of the tournament for India as far as bowling is concerned. And then you didn't play your leg spinner. So आप किसको blame कर रहे हो यार? पूरे tournament आपने 2 World Cup नहीं खिलाया यूजी चाहल को. So, you know, take the blame a bit yourself, cop it on the chin, and yeah, don't scapegoat your players. So I don't know what you guys have to say about it. So you can go one by one. Hijab, Hassan bhai.
No, I'll mirror your sentiments about that. I mean, it's all right if you're ठीक है. I understand why Rohit would say that. मुझे उसका point of view भी समझ आ गया. You're losing a game by 10 wickets. Your bowlers were not able to pick a single wicket in a game in a semi-final of a World Cup. ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत blame उनकी तरफ भी जाता है. They weren't inventive enough, I would say. ठीक है, belter of a service था, but इसी belter of a surface के ऊपर इंग्लैंड ने भी तो विकेट ली है ना. They restricted you, didn't they? Other than what Hardik Pandya did, no other batsman. All due respect to Virat Kohli, but his innings was not a match-winning innings at all. Okay, I do not think that was a match-winning innings. It was Hardik Pandya who made the difference. I had the same sentiment when Pakistan played India as well. ठीक है, I understand why everybody was hyping Kohli up because of those 2 sixes he hit of Haris Rauf. But if it wasn't for Hardik Pandya standing there on the other side, Virat Kohli would have not chased that target against Pakistan. ठीक है, it was Hardik Pandya. It is Hardik Pandya. He is definitely one of the most sought after T20 players in the world, and what a guy to have in your team. Gun fielder, excellent batsman, power hitter, and a good bowler, good controlled bowler. आज उसकी bowling भी अच्छी थी. He wasn't able to get a lot of any wickets, but his bowling was actually not bad. जहां तक मैंने देखा है उसको. तो देखिए, अब बात सही है कि if you're losing a game by 10 wickets, everybody expects you to say कि हाँ हमारे bowlers ने अच्छा नहीं किया यार, हमने तो बहुत अच्छा target put किया था. But that's actually not true. देखिए, इंग्लैंड ने उसी surface पे पहले bowling की, and that is how Butler and Hales know that they can go for it from the very first ball. ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत फीडबैक तो आपको मिलता है ना अपने बॉलर से कि यार बताओ कैसी सर्फेस थी, हाउ मच ग्रिप वाज देयर, हाउ मच कितना बॉल स्किड कर रहा था, मुझे बताओ बैट पे आ रहा था कि नहीं आ रहा था. कम्युनिकेशन होता है टीम के अंदर, एंड दैट्स व्हेन ऑब्वियसली द बॉलर्स टोल्ड दैट यार बट इट्स अ प्रीटी फ्लैट सर्फेस, देयर इज नथिंग इन इट. So if a batsman doesn't make a mistake, he doesn't get out. That's all there is to it. And Butler and Hales did not make any mistake today. I did not see any catch drops or any screw ups from India. They were just that good. They were just flawless. ठीक है, I like the मुझे वो सीन नहीं मुझे याद भूलता. वो हार्दिक पांड्या was trying to
riling
get
up the
the
fans.
crowd going, and then on the very next ball, Butler hits it for a 4, and what a strike that was. Unbelievably good. And then there was pin drop silence, and then until the end of the game there was just pin drop silence. I mean, I understand कि रोहित ने क्यों ये बात की, लेकिन as a captain नहीं यार रोहित, that's not the way to go about it. आपके बैट्समैन पे भी कोई जिम्मेदारी बनती है. You as openers, especially KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, you as openers, what are you even doing? मतलब ठीक है यार, I understand कि हमारे ओपनर्स भी नहीं चले इस पूरे के पूरे टूर्नामेंट में, but at least they showed up on the semi-final when it mattered the most, I guess. थोड़ा बहुत एक भी इनमें से अगर अटैक कर जाता है ना ऊपर से, रोहित शर्मा होते या केएल राहुल होते, things would have been very different. I mean, England was able to get Sky, man. I was pretty sure कि if Sky stayed out there until the very end, लड़का 200 करवा के जाता अपनी टीम का टारगेट.
Yeah.
That's how the pitch played basically. ठीक है, it wasn't an extraordinary pitch, but hats off to Adil Rashid. He got hammered in the first few games, didn't lose his composure, didn't lose his patience, and the way that he showed up in the last 2 games, he was the player of the match in the previous game, and he was excellent today, like too good. That catch he took of Virat Kohli, the wicket he took of Sky, game changer for England today.
अच्छा, बाय द वे, जिन के सवाल थे इंडिया इंग्लैंड रिलेटेड, प्लीज वो वापस भेज दें, जरा हमें मुश्किल हो रही है ऊपर स्क्रॉल करने के लिए. एंड आई थिंक हिजाब ब्रॉट अप सम रियली गुड पॉइंट्स ओवर देयर, एंड हार्दिक पांड्या, ऑफ कोर्स, ही वाज दैट सोल लोन वॉरियर फॉर इंडिया टुडे. एंड थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट रियली अगर आप देखें तो, ये मैं पहले भी बात कर चुका हूं कि काफी इंडिविजुअल ब्रिलियंस पे रिलाई किया इंडिया ने. कोहली हैज डग देम आउट ऑफ अ होल ऑन अ फ्यू ओकेजन्स. Pandya, of course, has been brilliant, and then Sky is Sky. He is arguably the best in the world right now. I think the rankings also mirror that. And, a few performances here and there by the bowlers. But, yeah, like, India ka jo game plan tha, aaj mujhe kuch khas samajh nahi aayi uski. I think it put too much pressure towards the batters in the end. And then, of course, England jis tarah aakar nikal ke kheli hai. Hijab used the word flawless. I think there is no other adjective that you can really use to describe it. I mean, jis tarah aakar Hales or Butler ne dhulai ki hai, the way they were hitting the ball, clean as anything, sweet as they say, as Danny Morrison says. And yeah, like एक chance था, Sky का मुश्किल chance था, वो भी चौका हो गया. So really things were not going India's way at all, and you could barely hear the commentators anymore. But the thing is that, look, England are a fantastic team. They deserve every bit to be here, and they have been scrappy at best in this tournament. Let's remember that. They haven't really played their best cricket at all. मर के जीत रहे थे श्रीलंका से, and wash out हो गया ऑस्ट्रेलिया से. न्यूजीलैंड वाली गेम के अंदर, had Joss Butler's chances been taken, he was twice, maybe the result would have been different. Maybe Australia would have been in the semi-finals. That didn't happen. Luck was on their side as well. Ireland se bhi haare. They lost to Ireland as well. And that's so funny, isn't it? That Pakistan were upset by Zimbabwe. England were upset by Ireland, and both of these teams are now set to play the final in Melbourne. And I find that beautiful, poetic, and cricket is
I
just
mean, if
beautiful
that's the
just because of
template,
that reason.
I'd happily lose a game to, I'll happily accept an upset if that's the template we're using from now onwards.
Yeah. Yeah, Munib Ahmed asks, was it a mistake only bowling one over of Arshdeep in the power play? यार क्या ही आप उनको fault कर सकते हो अब रोहित शर्मा की कप्तानी को सबको तो आके मार रहे थे वो they took every single bowler to the cleaners and yeah, I mean I was a bit surprised to see two off spinners. ठीक है, they're different kind of off spinners, Ashwin and Akshar, but I would have played the leg spinner. I definitely would have, and I know that England always have their troubles versus leg spin, right? Shadab Khan has troubled them in the past as well. But anyway, Hassan bhai, I'll give the floor to you. Your thoughts?
Baram, I feel that while, yes, I do agree that on a day when you lose by 10 wickets, the captain has a point. Equally, though, I'm never a fan of seeing a captain criticize his players simply because it wasn't for a lack of effort. And as captain, you set the tone. Where India have surprised me, honestly, has been their team selection. KL Rahul has not been clicking. It's been very clear. Why not open with Kohli, open with Sky? You know, you have a guy as good as Deepak Huda not getting games, not playing Chahal, not taking Bishnoi. I'm amazed at times because Indian cricket has incredible bench strength. When you look at guys like Ishan Kishan, who plays with Rohit for Mumbai Indians and is an incredible opening wicketkeeper batsman. I think the experiment with Dinesh Karthik is now coming to its end because he's not been able to play that same kind of role. Is Ashwin the only off spinner that they can play? Look, on his day, Ashwin is an excellent player, but he's been around for a while, and nothing about his record looks at you and screams that this is the guy who's going. India are missing Bumrah and Jadeja, a very important part of their bowling plans. But why not try Huda? Why not try? I mean, Arshdeep has come in and done well. Bhuvaneshwar, I just felt I would have much rather that India.
Furqan Ali has mentioned Kuldeep Yadav, the Chinaman, Hassan bhai.
Yeah. So
He's
very
been discarded
very
rather early.
Rather early, and when I consider that India have finally got themselves a pretty decent pace bowler, I know he's gone for runs, Umran Malik, but you'd rather have that X factor on Australian pitches and try something different than kind of go with at times a safe approach. Now, in bilateral games, India have a very attacking approach, and that's where India have been doing well. They've changed their entire template since the last World Cup, since losing to Pakistan, and they've started attacking. I just feel at times when the attack doesn't keep happening, it's like flogging a dead horse. So I'm a little bit surprised, especially when you consider that as Rahul Dravid is probably one of the best minds in world cricket that there ever has been. He was an incredible player. I don't think you can praise Rahul Dravid enough how good. And he seems to be a very solid, sensible coach. So I'm a bit surprised with India's selections and going in with what looked at times like a very safe approach. I thought they did the same thing in the Asia Cup and would have learned from it. And look, India have had success in Australia recently. They've gone and performed where, like someone has rightly, Furqan has pointed out, Kuldeep Yadav was very important. So why not try and do something different? That surprised me. So I think in that regard, criticizing the bowling today is a bit harsh because, like you guys said, if it wasn't for Pandya, I think England would have had a target they could have chased in 10 overs. Hardik Pandya, like I tweeted earlier, he's a cheat code. Okay? Yep. With the bat, with the ball in the field, he's someone, it's like having 3 extra players. He's that good. Why not promote him? When KL Rahul is clearly not working, I mean, the thought of Sky in the power play panics me as an opposition person. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm sorry, what? This guy who can play it to third man and then hit it out the ground? KL Rahul is clearly not doing it. I mean, so I think now there needs to be a change. And I think where India, another question I'd actually like to put to the two of you, because I've been thinking about this a lot. It can't be possible that it's not correlated. India have not reached a final of a World T20 since the IPL was made. And I think one of the reasons could be that a lot of the players we're seeing in other teams now play for IPL teams. By consistently playing against Indian players, are other players, other teams getting that little bit of an advantage in that they kind of have an idea more? Look, I'm not trying to make any kind of patriotic comments or whatever, but look at England and how much their players have improved against Pakistan as more and more of them play in the PSL. They start getting a better understanding of Pakistani condition. Look at Harry Brooks. The way he came and played against us, playing for Lahore Qalandars clearly helped him. So is it helping, you think, that now the world's best players, especially players from England, New Zealand teams that continue to do well against India, play so much IPL cricket that they have, because constantly playing against a player, spending time with them, understanding their psyche, it gives you an advantage which you may not have like a lot of the guys who've possibly not seen Haris would not have had. So do you guys think it can't be a coincidence that since 2007 and the IPL till now, India have not reached one World Cup final?
It's a very good question, Hassan Bhai, and I think it has less to do with other players gaining from the IPL. Of course, other players gain from the IPL, and they are more accustomed to Indian cricketers. I think the bigger reason is that India blocks its cricketers from playing other leagues. So they don't get that exposure from those other leagues and get to see how those cricketers in their leagues are playing, those playing conditions, and all of that exposure. I think they're depriving themselves of it. And maybe that is a reason, because you look at Pakistan, they don't even play the IPL, right? And people have mentioned this time and again that, look, the one team that is boycotted from the IPL has gone on to 6 semi-finals in the T20 World Cup. And out of the 20 completed World Cups in history, Pakistan has made 5 finals. That's 1 out of 4 times. Sare inconsistent kehte hain. I'd take 1 out of 4, 25% success rate. I'd take that for sure. India ki failures mein mere khayal se, Hassan bhai, more than this IPL, I mean, you have some weight in your argument for sure. I think it's more so to do with them not featuring in other leagues, but also it's selection blunders. Now look, KL Rahul has always performed when the chips are not as high. Like whenever the pressure situations are there, he doesn't really perform to the best of his ability. We've seen it time and again. He's failed consistently. He's a very good player. I'm not going to say he's not talented. He's a very good player. But in hindsight, you think that, did they perhaps cut Shikhar Dhawan's T20 career short? This is a guy who performs in the IPL year in, year out, who has a fantastic record in ICC tournaments. Every single time he was in India's ranks, whenever India were in an ICC tournament, he would be amongst the top scorers, and you'd also always see him perform under pressure. So that is a question that they need to ask themselves. Some people in the comment section are saying that Ravi Bishnoi, Yuzvendra Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, these are cricketers that have proved their mettle. At least Kulcha has proved its mettle in the international arena, and they've been ignored. So I would say that the selection blunders are just too big to ignore at this point. And one really can't wrap their head around it, that why does India go on to do this? You've seen players like Shreyas Iyer, even Ishan Kishan. These guys are talented. They can hit the ball a long way. Why do we not see them feature for India in the big tournaments? It baffles me, really. And Rohit Sharma hasn't been successful in the IPL for 5 years. His fitness is pretty much gone. He's 36, 37. This is probably his last T20 World Cup. So these are the questions that Indians need to ask themselves, selection-wise, I feel. That's my take, but I'll let Hijab take the mic now.
So, like, 2 things. First, jo IPL wali baat ki Hassan bhai ne, that's pretty much the reason for it is that they don't allow their players to play the other leagues. See, when you're not allowing your players play in conditions, foreign conditions, wahan par masla aayega, theek hai? Not every day you're going to get outrageous amount of swing jisme Arshdeep aapko pehle 2 overs mein jo hai wo 4 out karke de dega. Not every day you're going to get that. So if you're like just counting on the condition, counting on like yaar hame swing mil jayega yahan pe aur hame yahan pe jo hai wo acha power play mil jayega, flana ho jayega, ye ho jayega, it's not going to work. You always need to have a backup plan. Dusri jo cheez jo mujhe IPL ke bare mein bahut karti hai, IPL always go for big players, big names, theek hai? PSL doesn't do that. PSL makes those players, get them from the ground up. Dekhiye, ab there are players like Aaron Finch, they play like Kane Williamson, jin pe bade sawal uthte hain ki yaar, are they suited for a T20 format? Really, shouldn't they be just moving on to the longer format? They're not up to the mark. They're not as impactful as the other players in their teams, right? But then IPL give them a chance every year. They pick them in like highest categories, right? We pick players like Liam Livingston. We pick players like Harry Brook. We pick players like jo zyada impactful hai. Exactly, jo zyada impactful hai aapke T20 format ke andar.
Tim David.
Look at him. Exactly. So see big names versus impactful players. ठीक है, big names, I'm all for it. ठीक है, अगर आपने show लगाना है, अगर आपने entertainment show लगाना है, pick the big players. ठीक है, get the fireworks and everything, get the money. But if
Cash
you actually
rich Bollywood bonanza versus Pakistan feel good breeding ground. Maybe.
Absolutely. But if you actually want to make sure that you are a breeding ground for T20 players, which is the format of the future, then you need to follow a league like PSL, in my opinion. Okay? I read a very good article today regarding PSL. I also shared it today. And it was brilliant, like the way that they were saying that Pakistan's homegrown talent, like, come on, Pakistani players do not get to play IPL. The only country in the world that does not get to play the IPL. Is it a coincidence that they have been in the semi-finals for 6 times now? Is that a coincidence? No, I don't think. Pakistan. See, you have to give credit to PCB यहाँ पर भी कि PCB ने भी allow किया है अपने players को Big Bash खेलने के लिए, CPL खेलने के लिए, Lanka Premier League. They have played County, they have played Vitality T20 Blast.
Set to
They
play
played
the South African T20 Hijab.
exactly. उसके लिए भी उन्होंने उनको NOC दे दिया. Why? Because when ICC tournaments come around, they're going to be in one of these countries, right? So you need players जो कि psyche समझ सके दूसरे foreign players की. जब आप ड्रेसिंग रूम शेयर करते हो, there are a lot of things that you say to the other players जो कि बाद में जाके आपको याद आती है, यार इसने मुझे ये कहा था, हो सकता है इसकी ये वीकनेस है, ठीक है, इसको मैं यहाँ पकड़ूंगा. That happens a lot of times. It's real. So I think that एक ये भी बहुत बड़ा ड्रॉबैक है इसके अंदर जो यहाँ पर होता है. And then when you're talking about the selection thing, मुझे वो स्पेस याद आ गई उसके अंदर जो झंटू स्पेस में बात कर रहे थे regarding the selection. Yeah. Whatever that is.
You don't want to know. You do not want to know.
No, I don't want to know. तो वो जो उसके में बात करते हैं सिलेक्शन की, they were nailing it. Like every single point they were nailing it. They're like, यार आपकी जो players है वो 35 plus है सारे. विराट कोहली हो गया, Sky is 32, Rohit is touching 36. Like how are you? Like where's the young talent? Where's the fresh talent? Look at our team. Mashallah. You have Haris who's like what 20 years old. You have Shaheen who's 21. Yeah. You have Shadab who's 24. You have Naseem who's 19. Yeah, exactly. So they were breeded for this format. You need players who are breeded for this one. Or Pakistan is slowly but gradually but very effectively becoming that breed ground for foreign players and for Pakistani players. You have to give it to them कि उन्होंने जो आपको talent निकाल के दिया है T20 के लिए PSL में से, it has always showed up.
And I think one thing, sorry, Bahram, that I'd like to add. look at someone like Ricky Ponting, who has been an integral part of the IPL since the start, both as a player, as a captain, now as a coach. And with Hobart in the Big Bash, he's only picked Pakistani players. He's only picked guys who play PSL. So he's gone for 3 guys who he's never worked with. But he said, look, I wanted Shadab, all-round cricketer, have to have him. Melbourne have put their entire house on Haris Rauf. Brisbane have said, give us Hasnain any day of the week. It's not like these guys have been playing in Australia regularly. But even when they went in the COVID times, they were just, Hasnain's first over, I had Australian journalists tweeting, where has this boy been? And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, yeah, it's pretty incredible for this young kid to come through and do that. And then Ricky Ponting, who in my opinion is as good a judge of a cricketer as you'll ever find, he's gone not just for one or two, all his picks are Pakistani. He's gone for Shadab, he's gone for Fahim, he's gone for Asif. He said, I back these players. I believe in them. So that's clearly a validation for someone who's so involved in the IPL to pick. He can't obviously pick Indian players, but he can pick players who don't play there at all. And I think Hijab's point and your point is very fair that by playing in these conditions, by playing in these different leagues, the Pakistani players not only learn, but by watching our players, we get to see a lot of players, We get to see the West Indian players in the CPL. We get to see Sri Lankan players. We get to see players that are coming through. I mean, one reason why we're constantly picking England players is not just the availabilities, because so many of our guys are now going and playing county cricket. They thought that highly of Shan that when Derbyshire got him over, Yorkshire were that desperate to have him that they offered him the captaincy. So I think it's clearly something about this that's happening, and it's pretty incredible when you compare the two financially. And you compare the number of teams, and even more amazing when you consider that we've only actually properly had PSL played in Pakistan once. I'm talking about not being hit with COVID since 2020. We've possibly only had one full thing here where our boys have played, and I think captaining Lahore Qalandars and winning the title has done wonders for Haris and Shaheen and made them into the players they are today, and it's done wonders for Shadab, the way he is with Islamabad, and the way Rizwan is with Multan. It's done wonders for all these players. So it is something to think about maybe for the Indian think tank, that there needs to be not just an approach in changing the way they play, but also the personnel.
I think that's a brilliant point by both of you. I mean, the Pakistan Super League being a breeding ground and our players getting that exposure and getting to tap into the minds of different players from different countries, and then attracting those cricketers from different countries who want to come and make a name for themselves, who want to break into their national teams. And we've seen that with so many cricketers, particularly the English cricketers, but also someone like Tim David. And these guys have gone on to do well. And this is what will change the perception of Pakistan cricket on a grand scale, on a grand scale, really, because when you look at it, from a macro level, when these cricketers will become big cricketers in their respective teams, then they'll be very, very comfortable coming to Pakistan. Okay, so some more questions. Muid Rahman points out that we do have Chachu. Muid, yaar, Chachu कहना छोड़ दो, उसको नहीं पसंद, बस Ifti बोलना है. Ifti wants to be called Ifti,
यार
and we will
please
call him Ifti. Okay,
put
none
some
of that.
respect to his name.
Yes.
He is
This. Thank
your
you. Thank you.
please yaar matlab theek hai everything banter and everything, but he deserves just as much respect as every other player in your team. You have given him a lot of flack. Usko domestic bully बुला के
And
और
look
जो
how
भी
he's
had-
performed for you. Look how he's
सबसे लंबा
performed for
छक्का
you.
मार दिया Ifti ने
When
World
has
Cup का.
he not performed for you? Come on, matlab theek hai, I understand that he recently struggled
Zed,
in UAE, but
Zed, I'd like to say Chachu is not even respectful for me, and I look twice Iftikhar's age.
और मैं हूं चाचू, मेरे हैं nieces and nephews, वो भी मुझे चाचू नहीं कहते यार. मगर खैर पॉइंट इज दैट इफ्तिखार डजंट लाइक इट. देखो बाकी चीजें आप जिस नीयत से ही बोल रहे हो, अगर किसी को नहीं पसंद तो बस कहना छोड़ दो. आई एम ऑल फॉर, आई नो चाचू इज आउट ऑफ लव फॉर खान, बट आई एम जस्ट सेइंग दैट इफ ही डजंट लाइक इट, लेट्स गेट ऑन विद इट. बट एनीवे, और क्या क्या, सो अ लॉट ऑफ अदर नेम्स हैव बीन थ्रोन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू इंडिया सिलेक्शन, एंड दीज आर ऑल बिग नेम्स बाय द वे, जो हम लोगों ने मिस ही कर दिए थे. पृथ्वी शॉ, शुभमन गिल, मयंक अग्रवाल, संजू सैमसन. These are all big names and they perform in India's domestic circuit and the IPL. Ranji Trophy mein perform karte hain. Sarfaraz Khan is another one. A lot of players have been saying, ex-former cricketers from India have been saying that why is he not part of India's test plans? So yes, I mean, definitely you guys all have valid points. There was a question about Shaheen earlier. I believe it was from Hadi, and it was a really good question that do you think that Pakistan, the fact that England did not face Shaheen Shah Afridi in that 7-match series versus Pakistan will benefit Pakistan? I definitely think it will. Shaheen is as top drawer as it gets, and if you survive his first 2 overs, then you are at an advantage already. But similarly, Hadi, Pakistan did not face Joss Butler, Liam Livingston, and I'm probably missing someone else as well. But, I think it kind of weighs out, and you're at level peggings once again. So I think it'll be a good contest. Obviously, England start as favorites, and they're expected to win this encounter. But you cannot ever write off Pakistan, write them off at your own peril, guys. And अब तो vibes भी आ गई 92 वाली, तो बस मैं enjoy करूंगा, ठीक है, फाइनल तक. मैंने बुरी ख्यालात नहीं लाने अपने दिमाग में. अभी हमारा enjoy करने का टाइम है. I'm going to cherish this victory.
एब्सोल्युटली. और मैं एक चीज और बोल दूं कि ऑब्वियसली हम एज अ पाकिस्तानी फैंस जो है ना, बहुत एंजाइटी लेते हैं इस बात की, बहुत टेंशन लेते हैं, बहुत हमारे हाथ पांव फूल जाते हैं जब भी कोई बड़ा मैच आने लगता है, सारा कुछ हो गया. आई वुड जस्ट से कि एंजॉय इट सीरियसली. अभी आपके पास 2-3 दिन है, अच्छी वाइब्स आ रही हैं, योर टीम इज इन अ गुड मूड, यू शुड बी इन अ गुड मूड. सेंड पॉजिटिव वाइब्स टू योर टीम. आई नो मेलबर्न इज वेरी वेरी फार, बट कम ऑन, क्या 220 मिलियन पीपल कोशिश करेंगे तो पहुंच ही जाएंगी कुछ वाइब्स वहां तक. तो मतलब
the only thing that we should all remember is what someone once said to me when it came to anxiety: cold environment and sweet rice. Thand mahal te mithe chawl. That's what you should be thinking about. And honestly, there's nothing you can do on the day except support your team. So like Hijab said, koi zarurat nahi anxiety lene ki, relax kare. What's meant to be will be. Back your boys, hope for the best.
Enjoy
the
करें जब तक मैच शुरू नहीं होता.
Yeah, enjoy the memes.
तो हम भी anxiety ले रहे होंगे.
Enjoy the memes, enjoy the behind the scenes content, enjoy the wholesomeness.
Yes.
We are so blessed. Our memes are as good.
इब्राहिम बादीस के लिए भी पढ़ लेना यार, बॉय ने कसम से
बेशक, बिल्कुल, बड़ा जबरदस्त. And secondly, I want to, continuing on Hijab's point, remind us our memes are as good as our mangoes. Be grateful.
Our memes are probably better than our mangoes, and that really is some statement, right?
No, seriously, top tier. जब आप दूसरे लोगों का ह्यूमर देखते हैं ना, आगे पीछे वालों का जब आप ह्यूमर देखते हैं ना, तो फिर आपको एहसास होता है, man, we are so at par with our humor. and मतलब हमारा जो मीम इंडस्ट्री है और जो सारी की सारी है, कहाँ से ढूंढ के लाते हैं चीजें यार.
पता नहीं यार. And within 30 seconds अभी वो चीज हुई होती है, मीम आ जाती है यार. How can you be so quick? I'm getting memes. I got that one from that Paresh Rawal from Welcome when they were like Pakistan reaching the final and they're like, "Tum kab aaye?" Like, I was like, "How did you do this? We just qualified 2 minutes ago." Incredible speed.
Tom and Jerry वाली भी बहुत funny थी.
Incredible speed.
They have it in their like drafts or something. उन्होंने बना के रखी होती है दोनों scenarios के लिए. यार ये होगा तो हम ये मतलब ठीक है.
Unreal creativity.
हारने का दुख होता है पाकिस्तानियों को, वो आपका आधा जो है ना वो आधे घंटे में गिर जाता है, वो मीम्स देख देख के
गिर
जो हम
जाता है,
अपने ऊपर भी
एग्जैक्टली
बना रहे होते हैं ना।
एग्जैक्टली,
सो
बिल्कुल।
वो जो आपका ह्यूमर है ना, इट्स टॉप टियर लेवल, एंजॉय करें यार उसको, संडे को जो होना है वो होगा, ठीक है। वी कैन ऑल वी कैन डू इज प्रे, और खुदा ना खास्ता हार भी जाते हैं,
हाँ ठीक है,
कोई
हाँ
बात
हो
नहीं यार,
जाएगा।
एक वर्ल्ड क्लास टीम से हारेंगे, क्या हो
या
गया।
बिल्कुल। और वही बात है कि इंग्लैंड की आप टीम अगर देख लें, अगर इनको हिराकर वर्ल्ड कप जीत गए तो दिस माइट बी पाकिस्तान, इट्स डेफिनेटली बिगर देन 2009, इतना तो मैं आपको बता
It
दूं कि
is.
इस
ओ
टीम का उतना
It is
लेवल
for
है।
sure. It is for sure. For sure.
100%,
It is. It
अच्छा
is.
जी,
100%।
फुरकान अली says वसीम अकरम comments about PCB BTS. Look, हर किसी का अपना ओपिनियन होता है, everyone is entitled to their opinion. I enjoy it, I love that content, okay, I live for
यार
that
दे
content.
वर्क
मैं
सो
वेट कर
हार्ड
रहा
फॉर
होता
इट,
हूँ, मैं वेट
Behram,
कर
they
रहा
work
होता हूँ
so
कब
hard for
हम
that
केक
content।
काटेंगे, कब हेडन जप्पी मारेगा। और यस, लाइक हम सब ने तारीफ की सकलैन मुश्ताक की, शॉन टेट की ओवर द कोर्स ऑफ दीज टू शोज, इवन मोयो मोहम्मद यूसुफ has played his part, but I think that confidence that Matthew Hayden infuses in the team, just to come from a champion who's done it all, who's achieved it all, I think that's what really gets the boys, like gets their juices flowing. And I know a lot of people have been now saying कि ज्यादा ही क्रेडिट दे रहे हैं हेडन को। देखिए, हेडन का काम है मेंटोरशिप, वो मेंटोरशिप कर रहे हैं इस टीम की, एंड वो बस आपकी जो वो है ना हौसले वो बुलंद कर रहे हैं, सेल्फ बिलीफ बढ़ा रहे हैं। बाकी जो
And that is
सकलैन
what
का
you
काम है,
needed।
दैट डजंट टेक अवे एनीथिंग
That's
फ्रॉम
all you
दैट।
need. Exactly.
या
Yeah,
And see
exactly.
Behram, that is what
एब्सोल्युटली,
you need in a
हम
World
सब
Cup, ठीक
माइंडसेट
है।
माइंडसेट रोते रहते हैं।
एग्जैक्टली दैट्स द पॉइंट कि यार अगर माइंडसेट आपका कोई बंदा आके आपको उठा रहा है तो ही
या
डिजर्व्स द क्रेडिट। और जहां तक वो
All
बीटीएस की बात है, मेरी बात सुने, द
यस
मीडिया मैनेजर्स एंड द पीपल बिहाइंड द सीन्स, दे वर्क सो वेरी हार्ड फॉर दैट कंटेंट, ठीक है। It's not easy. I've worked as a media manager. I gave it everything that I had in me. Trust me. And what it wasn't even close to the level of Pakistani team. Okay, yeah, a
but
lot of appreciation for
यू डिड अ
Pakistani
ग्रेट
media
जॉब।
managers.
you did a great job, Hijab. And also,
या
look,
या
your aim, just like the media teams, is to bring the fans and the players closer. That's what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I absolutely, dekhen, mere liye, I will say this again and again. There's no bigger name than Wasim Akram. Okay, Wasim Bhai is the king. He, like Behram said, is entitled to his opinion. Unka belief bhi apne point se sahi hoga. We don't have to criticize. We don't have to disagree. We have our own opinion as younger fans. Yes, younger, we relate to this stuff more. And maybe उनके टाइम में नहीं होता था, maybe because वो environment ही ऐसी थी कि उनको नहीं चाहिए था. One of the best things you'll see from the 90s is that documentary of Pakistan going and winning the test matches in India, where you see Wasim Bhai and all the other players
बिल्कुल।
and Javed Mia. So it works out also, and it goes differently also. वही बात है कि I think we should really, like Hijab said, appreciate Ibrahim Badis and the entire team, because we all want to
बिल्कुल
watch that. And जब तक लोग देखना चाहेंगे वो प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, और जब लोग नहीं देखना चाहेंगे तो नहीं प्रोड्यूस करेंगे. They and the players are comfortable with it. They're okay with it. And because देखिए, it's very stress. जब वो लगाते हैं, there are a lot of people waiting to be negative also. There are a lot of people
Yeah.
waiting to say आज केक क्यों कटे आते, केक क्यों खा दे आते,
या
एंड क्यों
ये
कीता.
केक ही काटते
So
रहते हैं,
you get
ये वो इस तरह की बातें
you
नहीं
you
करते।
हर साल बर्थडे होती है. I heard someone say that also. हर साल बर्थडे
Yeah.
होती है जी. कॉन्सेप्ट यही होता है बर्थडे का, जब तक आप होते हैं.
आप
तो
लोग
my
भी तो यार
point,
थोड़ा हल्का आया करो ना वसीम भाई के ऊपर, आपको नहीं पता कि उनको गुस्सा चढ़ जाता है, वो बेचारे अपने शो में आकर आप लोगों को बदतमीज बोल रहे होते, तब आप
but
ठीक रहते हो
but
फिर।
my point is कि आपका एक चीज है, the people want it. आपको, one thing we all need to learn to do. I did it both yesterday and today. A lot of things we can choose to ignore. We really can.
Yeah.
We don't have to engage with everybody and everything and have an opinion about everything. Sometimes यकीन, ये आपको गोल्डन अल्फाज हैं, इनको इंग्लिश और उर्दू में, मैं इंग्लिश और पंजाबी में रिपीट करूंगा. कोल्ड एनवायरनमेंट एंड स्वीट राइस, ठंड माहौल ते मिठे चौल is the best thing you can do.
नहीं, एंड और
Just
ये भी देखें कि
enjoy.
हर कोई जो है ना कभी ट्रिगर हो जाता है। मैं भी हुआ वहां, हसन भाई भी हुए हुए, हिजाब भी
बिल्कुल
आई एम
बिल्कुल
श्योर हुई
सब हो
होगी,
जाते
हो
हैं,
जाता है यार,
बिल्कुल होते हैं.
इंसानी फितरत है।
All the fuck.
Exactly.
रिफ्लेक्ट, बी बेटर। और अगर आप अपने आप को इसके अंदर घुसाओगे ना, आपको उसके ऊपर नेगेटिविटी मिलती रहेगी, चार और लोग गालियां
Exactly.
निकालेंगे आपको, आप उस
Exactly.
सेस पूल ऑफ
Exactly.
नेगेटिविटी में फंस जाओगे। सो
मत
मेरी तो
मत रहो
लाइक आई
उसमें.
हैव बीन ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्ग इनफ टू टेल यू कि जितना आप दूर रख सकते हो अपने आप को, इस तरह की चीज से रखा करो। बट एनीवे, सम फाइनल क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज़ टाइम हमारा होता जा रहा है खत्म। एंड शाहीन टेकिंग बोथ ओपनर्स, behram भाई, फुरकान अली सेज इंशाल्लाह आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर
इंशाल्लाह.
फुरकान,
घी शक्कर,
Inshallah.
बिल्कुल.
Inshallah.
बटलर और हिल्स दोनों निकालेगा शाहीन इंशाल्लाह। And then people are asking for our player of the tournament. So I'll make this the final questions, guys. Player of the match and player of the tournament for the obviously the World Cup and the final. And I will go with Shadab Khan, player of the tournament, and Shaheen Shah Afridi,
Yes.
player of the final.
Yeah, I mean, player of the tournament की अगर आप बात करें तो it will either be Shadab or Shaheen, depending on who has more of an impact in the final. Now, this is all considering कि Pakistan जीतेगा, and we all want कि Pakistan जीतेगा. So yeah,
Of
so
course.
player of the tournament has to be either Shadab because he's been very impactful, or Shaheen भी हो सकता है because the way that he came back after those 2 games. Now he's amongst the highest wicket takers. It's unbelievable, the kind of effort that he has put in to come back into rhythm and give his everything. और जब से शाहीन ने विकेट लेना शुरू किया, we've been winning. ठीक है?
तो
He
किसी ने
went with
पोस्ट किया था ना कि आई विश शाहीन्स इंजरी had lasted a bit longer. Go dig yourself a
Yeah,
ditch
I
and
don't
hide
want
in
to
it.
take the names here.
Yeah,
Yes,
Matlab, I
please.
don't want to
नजर
take
मत
the
आना
names, but
वापस
that
मुझे
was
फिर
a
से.
very
हाँ.
that was a very
Yeah.
insensitive and then very senseless tweet.
जी.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And
How do you do that? How do you?
a lot of
सस्ती
people
सस्ती
were
रीट्वीट्स
also
के लिए आप लोग कैसी घटिया
जी
बातें कर जाते हो.
और
Yes,
के
but
बाबर
now,
should resign. Babar should resign the captaincy after the Zimbabwe game. आप भी उसी ditch में अगर मेहरबानी से चले जाएं तो बड़ा अच्छा होगा
हाँ,
आप
बिल्कुल.
सबके लिए.
exactly. और player of the match अगर आप कहें ना, I don't know, I'm very strong vibes कि player of the match जो है ना final में, it will be Haris Rauf. I don't know
Sure,
why.
I like that. I
इंशाल्लाह.
want that.
अच्छा.
MCG is his home ground. Hijab. क्या
वही.
Yeah,
मैं भी
man, it would be so
I'm switching
poetic.
my answer. मैं भी टीम हारिस राउफ हो गया हूँ एकदम से.
Acha, I'm going to take both your points because I think you're both spot on. Definitely Shadab player of the tournament for me. Bat, ball, field, did it all, everything you could ask for. Tom Moody, who is someone I rate very highly, saying that Shadab is a 3D cricketer, just a complete all-rounder. Player of the match, I'm going to go one better than Hijab. I'm going to say Haris. Which one? I don't know,
Mohammad
but it's going to
Haris.
be,
Oh.
yep, one of, inshallah, is going to...
Gamble कर रहे
Twist
हैं यहाँ
फेंक
पे.
दिया हसन भाई ने.
It's gonna be Haris squared, guys. It's gonna be Haris Rauf with okay, I don't normally do this, but let's have some fun. It's gonna be Haris Rauf with 4 for 22 of 4 overs, and it's gonna be Muhammad Haris with a 19 ball 46. देखी
That's
जाएगी.
too much
चलो
positivity for me, man. Like, too much positivity. I don't know.
नहीं
देखी
तो ठीक है
जाएगी.
ना. लास्ट टाइम भी याद है कितनी पॉजिटिविटी लेकर छोड़ा था और हम जीत के गए फाइनल. तो इंशाल्लाह इस दफा भी यही होगा. अच्छा जी, कुछ फैंस कह रहे हैं फाइनल कमेंट तो आप पूछें कुछ जल्दी से तो हम दें फिर.
हाँ,
and then
छेती
we
करो
have
ना
to also
पहन.
go. मैंने भी काइट बीच
हाँ,
पे जाना है.
मेरे
हसन भाई के
बच्चे
बेटे की बर्थडे है
बच्चे
यार.
की बर्थडे.
हमारी भी चीजें आगे जिंदगी में कुछ करने वाली. But anyway, up until you send that question or comment or whatever, a lot of people are thanking us and they're wishing us the best of luck. So right back at you guys. Obviously, like for us, we're all fans like you are, of course, with our own ambitions. Like I know both me and Hijab, we're trying hard. Hopefully, आपको भी हम किसी दिन मेलबर्न में नजर आएंगे, हसन भाई भी. तो आप लोग भी दुआ किया करें, हमारे कंटेंट को सपोर्ट करते रहें. All of your support means a lot to us. Thank you so much for coming out and viewing us today on our live show and interacting with us. We absolutely loved it, enjoyed it, and we love doing these live sessions. In fact, now I feel like हम लोग recording करते ही क्यों थे? हमें हमेशा ही लाइव आना चाहिए. आप लोग के भी सवाल हो जाते हैं
We're
साथ
so
साथ.
good at this.
Baram, when you come to Multan for the game, you have to make sure that you take halwa back for auntie from me. Thank you.
चलो ठीक है फॉर श्योर. मैं ले आऊंगा साथ आंटी को मुल्तान. अब वो घूमती फिरती
आप
रहेंगी.
बस डन हो गया. डन हो गया जी. डन हो गया.
ठीक है फिर. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We loved having you. We loved interacting with you, and we will be back, of course, after the final. We will definitely be doing a live show, of course, after the success we've had. And yeah, one big thank you to both Hassan Bhai and Hijab as well. Of course, they're my favorite pair to record with, honestly. मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा मजा इन दोनों के साथ record करने में आता है. So thank you both for taking out the time, for sparing out time from your regular lives to talk cricket with me. मैंने बहुत साथ खाया आप लोगों का. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, I mean, it's an absolute privilege to record with you.
Absolutely. Same here, Behram. It's always good, or when you're coming off a win, so it's double good. You know, that feel-good factor bhi hota hai aapke saath. And I love interacting with you guys. Love reviewing game with you guys. Super, you know, we have a lot of fun and it's always respectful, but the banter is amazing. इसलिए मैं कह रही हूँ यार, we're very good at this. So we should always do live, you know.
Grace काफी ज़्यादा है नहीं है जब.
Grace बहुत ज़्यादा है. देखिए, as someone who is actually Pathan, I just want to say it's always a pleasure. It's a privilege. Thank you so much for this. Thank you to Auntie for wishing my son. Thank you to Basit. And also just, I think, like Behram said, we're just fans like you, and that's what we want to do. We're grateful for this opportunity. I cannot speak higher of Behram and Hijab and what they are doing for changing the landscape in Pakistan cricket, because I'm someone who's grown up watching a lot of toxic takes, not just our players, but our media and everything. And trust me, it's not a good environment. Cricket is so much more than a sport for Pakistanis. And I really do believe we need to make अगेन कोई ये नहीं कह रहा क्रिटिसाइज नहीं कर सकते, बट आप एक पॉजिटिव अप्रोच ला सकते हो, एंड दैट्स व्हाट ऑल ऑफ अस आर ट्राइंग टू डू. एंड या, Hijab is spot on. We're damn good at this, man. We should be doing a lot more.
I mean,
like
वही बात
who
है यार.
disagrees? Yeah, I mean, why not?
Criticism करे, criticism constructive रखें, still go on to support and love your players. How can you not love this lot, यार? I'm absolutely like वही मैंने पहले भी tweet किया था कि जब भी पाकिस्तान फाइनल में आती है तो खुशी तो जाहिर होती है as a supporter, but I'm particularly happy for this unit because they have just been
अभी
so
एक तो खुशी
amazing.
आपको एज अ फैन होती है ना, बट एक खुशी आपको उनके लिए हो रही है, like it's the expression
Exactly.
of their happiness that you're
Exactly.
feeling right now. Like seriously, man, really hope कि ये squad ऐसा ही रहे और बहुत लंबा खेले पाकिस्तान के लिए. The precedent that they have set for Pakistan, I hope that it carries even after them. और अपने बच्चों को एक दिन इंशाल्लाह ये 2022 World Cup की story सुनाएंगे.
Inshallah. And also, I just want to say, like, you know, since we've done these, alhamdulillah, Pakistan has won and gone to the final. So inshallah, if after doing this they win the final, we do it again. People take note every time there's a tournament with more than 2 teams. You make sure to tune in because this is why we're winning. All right.
Absolutely. And as Hassan Bhai alluded to earlier, we're trying to change the landscape of cricket coverage in Pakistan. And there's a lot of honest work that's being done at Grassroots Cricket, not just on the YouTube side of things. If you go and check out our articles and our stats, Rayan is like a cricket whiz, and Abdullah Bhai, he's also amazing at what he does. You see them in different podcasts. Aajkal kafi industry बढ़ भी गई है. So that's good to watch, look at as well, because, you know, अच्छी बात है, coexistence भी अच्छी बात है. We should bring everyone in and try to coexist and just support each other, back each other. And let's make this an industry, guys, because look at India, look at all of the good work that they've done over the last 2.5 decades. Pakistan is lacking. Pakistan needs to get there. I'm returning to Pakistan to kind of do my bit, and just keep supporting us, follow us across social media platforms. It's an absolute privilege to be able to do this for you, to have this opportunity to talk cricket in front of you, and thank you to our guests as well. And we will definitely be catching you after the final. Abhi hum time baad mein discuss kar lenge, magar definitely live session hoga. Sab पूछ भी रहे हैं comments में, तो definitely होगा. और फिर
I mean, guys, दुआ करें कि हम जीत जाए. दुआ करें कि
उसके फौरन बाद हो जाएगा.
हम फौरन आ जाएंगे.
Exactly.
वरना एक आधे दिन बाद आ जाएंगे. आ जाएंगे जरूर.
वरना अगले साल आएंगे. उसके आज 1 साल की एनिवर्सरी थी.
वरना सीरियसली लाइक आंखें शाके धो के आएंगे फिर हम, अगर खुदा ना खास्ता हार गए तो
आराम से कंपोज्ड होकर ना सही, we'll talk cricket with you. But that's basically the focus, right? We want to, aside from all the banter and everything, and we try to keep it super respectful as well, but we want to be able to talk cricket with you rather than talking about agendas and players and their personal lives. और उसने ये नहीं किया, उसने वो कह दिया, नहीं देनी हमने space उन लोगों को जो इस तरह की बातें करते हैं. So that's the whole point of all of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did. And tune in after the final. If we lose, it'll be a few days later. If we win, it'll be right away. I promise you guys that. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you once again, Hassan Bhai and Hijab. And chale phir, sabko bahut good luck. Enjoy this moment. Relish it. Cherish your victory. And जब तक final नहीं होता, tension नहीं लेनी. एक दफा final start होगा, हम सब जाए नमाज के सामने लेट जाएंगे. ठीक है? As a collective. तो चले. Okay then, everyone. Thank you for tuning in once again.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
शॉट और कैच आउट हो गए.